Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's me, Anne Marie, the Art of Healing, and today is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. I say that because I just want to mark it, but these messages are timeless. So if you're listening to this in 2 years and you're like, what's this woman? Who is she? And why am I clicking on her? Just know that you're meant to be here. The spirit, in spirit, somebody said, oh yeah, that's true. In spirit, there is no time. And in spirit, there is no space. So hi there, welcome. I have so much to tell you. Sorry about the messes. I forgot to get rid of those. So much to tell you. When I got back from Norway, I fell into a depression. I have to admit it. It was freaking scary. I have not felt that dark, that deep in a long, long time. And I was reaching out to people. It was really, really tough. I was crying. My son, I was like talking to my son. I was like, I'm worried about my health. I'm worried about my mind. I said, I've lost my mind before. And whenever that's threatened, it's difficult. And I was very scared. But what I did was I got out of my house and I listened to channelings. I listened to things that I knew were going to raise my vibration. I distracted myself. I felt very dark here in the house. I thought I was just, not living. I was just not living. And I was unhappy living in this house. I felt like, I wanted my own things. I was looking for places to rent. It's very, very strange, but it's like I just had to endure it. And then I'm telling you, something broke. Okay, it broke. And before it broke, one of the things that I came back with from Norway was I wanted to upgrade my camper because my camper is meant for a family. It's got bunk beds. I don't need bunk beds. I need storage. And so I went to the Camping World that's not too far from here, and I went and looked, and they had wonderful campers, lots of space, really cool. But they were only going to give me $10,000 for this camper that I just bought in October. And, the new one would have cost $40,000. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I forgot about it. So I had the urge, okay, I'm going to change my camper and I'm going to buy a vehicle that's going to pull the camper because I can't rely on my boyfriend all the time. It's his car and he doesn't want to have to put that many miles on it, especially if I'm going to go trekking across the country, when I have my time and when my time is my own. So that happened. So what I did, and this is very interesting, I let it go. Right? So we have the ego. The ego's like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And I tried to do it with the ego motivation and it didn't work. So what did I do? I just accepted and I let it go. What happened? But 2 days later, I got the flyer from the Camping World. And what do they have advertised? But the exact same company, same size camper made for 3 people with the same queen size bed and cabinet and storage. And it was on sale for $14,000. $14,000. So they're going to accept 10 grand for my trade-in. And then I wanted to get out of that loan because that loan was too expensive and it had too much interest. So it ticked all the boxes. I freaking called them up and he's like, there's only 2 in the entire state of Florida, but one is yours. When I tried to do it myself, it fell apart. When I allowed for the Holy Spirit, for the universe to give it to me, everything fell in place. I'm telling you, that's the biggest message that we can hold on to is that when the ego tries to get something done, it'll never get done. But when you work with spirit and you allow for spirit to bring to you what you need, it gets done. So that was like this big switch that I popped out of, and I realized I'm taken care of. I'm so totally taken care of. And it was amazing. And I wanted to share that with you because if it happens to me, it can happen to you. And we don't remember how powerful we truly are. We don't remember. So in one way, we are creating our reality by our desires. My desire was to upgrade my camper and to get one that made sense for me. That was my desire. When I tried to do it with the ego, it fell apart. When spirit knew my wishes and created it for me, it worked. Boom. Awesome, right? So, I'm going to pause for just a second. I wanted to go and get my Course in Miracles book because I've had another beautiful experience this morning. It started when I spoke to my beautiful friend, Rosemary Godden. She is, she's like a mother to me. She's a spiritual mother, a channeler, beautiful, amazing soul. And she just traveled to Vietnam. Okay, she just traveled to Vietnam and we're catching up. I'm telling her about me. She's telling me about her. And she says, I managed to hurt my foot and my hip while I was in Vietnam. And, all of a sudden my hands start to move and I start to shake. And I was like, well, my guides want to work on you. Is that okay? She's like, yeah, go for it. So my guides are working and they start doing this chopping pattern. Now I know Rosemary. Rosemary has it together. She is a full-on spiritual being, a channeler, a healer. She knows what's going on, okay? And so for me to feel spirit doing this to her, which means they're cutting cords, cutting energetic cords, and they were going at it. I mean, going at it for a long time. I was feeling very dense energy, twisting in my gut. And I'm like, what the heck is this? This is not you. This is not you at all. And I started, as I'm going through this healing, downloads are coming in, downloads are coming in. And I was like, this was absorbed from the land because Vietnam was horribly treated. The Vietnam War, and she said it was just the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War while she was over there. So energetically, the earth, the land, the people, the collective energy of Vietnam sucked up into her root chakra. And then finally, at the end of this healing, we were talking about it. And finally, I got the download. I said, you agreed to it because in your way, you were relieving the collective energetic consciousness of just a little bit of their pain. So you agreed to take it on and to help the earth. My goodness, what powerful beings we are. We don't even know it. And we are so powerful to the point where we can heal the earth with our intention, with our allowing. I'm not saying go out there and absorb the trauma. This was her choice because she knew that she could release it. Her higher self knew that this was going to be temporary and that you could release it. But when that knowledge came through that she agreed, both of us burst into tears, full body chills. We knew it was the truth. And I asked her if I could share this, and she said yes, because, you know, when we go through these experiences, it's in the sharing that it makes a difference. Okay. So look how powerful you are. If you connect with the earth and you could allow yourself to be a conduit, heal the earth. The earth needs it. Okay. The earth needs it. Yes, the earth is ascending. She's very powerful. But look, we are her creatures. We are part of her. That's why we're here. So I wanted to share that story with you, to just look at your own selves and see if there's something that maybe something that resonates with you. And healing the earth is important. It's beautiful. It's very, very important. Now, I kind of like shared the big deals, but I kind of wanted to share my last thing and hopefully bring in spirit to give us all a little bit of a lesson. So I'm at the end of my second go around with A Course in Miracles. And it's lesson 356. Sickness is but another name for sin. Bing, big trigger word, right? For the Catholic, okay? Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Father, you promised you would never fail to answer any call your son might make to you. It does not matter where he is, what seems to be his problem, or what he believes he has become. He is your son or daughter, and you will answer him. The miracle reflects your love, and thus it answers him. Your name replaces every thought of sin, and who is sinless cannot suffer pain. Your name gives answer to your son, because to call your name is but to call his own. Wow. All right. Now, my new really beautiful friend, Mary Woods, speaks about how the Course in Miracles is here to change the Christian programming in our minds. It's here to heal it. So they use the word, I'm getting this, the word sin is being used here, not because sin is real, because we know sin is not real, okay? But because we, as a collective, have a belief in sin. And so that trigger word needs to be used in order to get our attention. And in this case, what is the sin? The sin is the lack of remembrance that we are a holy child of God, perfect in every way, and that God dwells within us. Now, for me, going through my own healing process, the first thought that came through was, wow, do I have a sin that caused this? Did I sin, quote unquote? But then I quickly was like, nah, forget that. You know that. That's not true. Sin is not real. But obviously, there is something, a thought, a program, a belief that is still running within me. I am still believing in this body. I am still believing that this is somehow valid. And I don't remember if I shared with you, but when I was going through those airports coming back from Norway, and I was feeling so exhausted because there was a couple parts where I couldn't wait. This was in Miami. I couldn't wait for somebody to wheel me. And so I just walked, and I was carrying my 2 bags with me, and I was more mentally suffering because I wasn't being pushed, okay? Because I had a belief that I was ill. So I felt it. I felt my ego screaming, but I'm sick. I'm sick. This is going to hurt me. I'm sick. And then my higher mind came through and said, no, stop that thought pattern, change your thought pattern. And I was walking through going, no, I am well. I am healed. I am well. I am healed. I am well. I am healed. And I walked and I walked and I walked. I finally got to the front of the thing and I was like, I should have been here with a wheelchair, and then I finally got onto the airplane. But it's interesting how the mind, works. Is there something in me? Now, this is my journey, right? And I'm working on it. I'm doing hard work with it every day. I'm contemplating these things. But is there a part of me that is benefiting from this illness? This is what I've got to do. So I understand that it began because of our broken heart. I understand it began because of a collective tidal wave of energy that had nowhere to go. I believe it started because I was being literally choked by all the responsibilities and the beliefs that I had, and the disappointments and the trauma of leaving New York and selling my house that I loved, and not really wanting to, but thinking that it was the best idea for the time. Okay, these are accumulation of different things. But now I'm at a point, now I'm feeling better. I'm really feeling better. You can still hear the hoarseness, and I think the thing is swelling and it's pushing against my vocal cords. That's why I'm getting hoarse. I understand that I'm in a process of healing, but I really am going to start meditating and concentrating on what is this giving me? Because what is it providing me? Is it providing me excuses? Is it providing me a good reason to get help from my boyfriend, from my son, right? What am I getting from this? Very, very interesting. So that's the next, we'll figure that out later. So after all of this, I was wondering, yep, they just popped my ears. Spirit, if you want to say something, now's the time. Come on through. This dear one carries around with her a lot of excess energy, excess beliefs. They collect in her and on her. The only reason for us, this collective consciousness that is communicating through this channel, the only reason for us to communicate about this is because you all do it. You all hold on to suffering. It is such a deep program in your society that you hold on to it like this dear being is holding on to her heart. You hold on to the suffering. You are so used to it. It is so embedded in your daily culture to complain, to brag, in order to gain something from whoever it is that you are bragging to. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to your words. What are they saying? This being catches herself when she goes to reveal to people, oh, quote, unquote, I have Graves' disease, unquote. She doesn't have anything. She has misunderstanding. She has incorrect beliefs. This is what she has. She does not have a disease. You create the disease with your mind. Who are we? Why do we speak this way so strongly, so boldly through this dear one? We are not beating her up at any way. She understands, she knows already. We are merely bringing forth bringing forth this information, giving it light, as it were? Is this not a process of illuminating the darkness? Are you not in the times of revelation? Are you not bringing light to the darkness? This is all we are doing. We are illuminating a corner of her mind, a corner of her mind that believes in illness, a corner of her mind that believes in sickness, and that needs maybe a little bit more attention. She is right. We are the energy of truth. We are the energy of love. This is who we are. We are not a being, we are a consciousness. We are an extension, a point of all that is. That is just dipping down into her consciousness at this time, using her mind-body complex to illuminate misbeliefs in her mind, misbeliefs in your mind. You are consciousness. You are all that is. You are incredible beings. But you do not know how to operate your minds often. We will not say always, but often. So, dear beautiful souls, take lesson, take example from this dear being for her willingness to share so that you can heal. Woo! Again, something I didn't expect. All right. More to think about. More to think about. All right. Thanks for spending this time with me. I so appreciate it. I honor you. I honor your time. I keep my videos small because I know you don't have hours and hours to listen to me. And I'm grateful. Thank you. I love you. Bye, y'all. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. P.S. I will be in Grafton, Illinois next week at the Journey to Truth conference. And I encourage you to check it out, journeytotruthcon.com. And they have day passes and they have live stream tickets. Love you.